I approached the boundary of death. I made my way through every level of the universe and back. In the middle of the night, I saw the sun flashing in the purest brightness. I came face to face with the gods below and the gods above. I know everything, but don't understand any of it. No sooner had the night dissolved and the sun formed a new day that I emerged from sleep and my bed simultaneously. I was in my high-strung way, ordinarily curious about everything rare and marvelous, and now I recalled I was staying in Berlin. Winter was unbearable. Lost, alone, nowhere in life. I was drifting. Having no lead to follow, I was swept up by words, memories, manias, grudges. Having no goal to aim for, I wasted what little life there was in vapid actions and thoughts. For society, I was a failure. Living abroad had cost me a great deal. Betrayed by family, my love of friends, and myself, I survived through creativity under Saturn's curse, melancholy. If philosophy may teach how man thinks, drinking showed me how he really thinks. In a somber mood, I recalled my whole life up to this day, and my head spun with the buzzing of 101 Ouroboristic worms. I remembered the drinking parties that made us thirsty, and the thirst that made us drink. I thought back to the people who worked to be able to eat, and who ate to have the strength to work. To the black thoughts I drowned with such sadness in the cask, and which were reborn in different hues. Between the vicious circles of the drinking party and those of the delusory paradises, I would never again be able to choose. I was from that moment no more than a wasteland. Sometimes during the first watch of night, I woke in sudden terror. The full orb of the moon was shining with an immoderate brilliance. The dim night, secret silence was my chance. Well, I was a curious person. The moment I heard the word witchcraft, I shrugged off any need to play it safe. I was actually eager to go right ahead and take that flying leap into the abyss. Come on, Lucius. Keep your eyes open and watch what you're doing. Here's the chance you've been dying for. To be free from your past, successful in your craft, and to be loved. But you must first undergo a mysterious initiation. I knew it was dangerous. Indeed, I was standing on the very threshold of darkness, where powerful, dangerous forces could bring me to a fresh rebirth. Back on the circuit of life or death. Helplessly surveying this new body, I saw I was a donkey. Well, still I had my body, but where was my head? Something went wrong. What I thought first to be the subtle hallucination side effects of the psychedelic ayahuasca became strangely persistent. Powerless in my new situation, it could have led me to depression, but the absurdity of being an ass on a human body forced me to challenge the outside world. It's not the end of it when you've drowned your black thoughts, because afterwards there are blue thoughts and red thoughts and yellow thoughts. First, no one seemed to notice my new form. Even worse, it seemed perfectly normal. For others, I was a freak. Maybe the magic spell could have been expanded to my surroundings. Or worse, I began to speculate that maybe I really had died last night, and that all this was the fruit of my dying brain creating powerful hallucinations more real than life. Still racing, my brain recreated one last dream experience before my total annihilation from the physical world. The best that could happen to me was to enter the void. Dead body or not, I could not see any difference. I just wanted to stop this long, waking nightmare. The morning after, still the same stupid ass's face, still perfectly alive and perfectly aware of my actions. Not even dead. Maybe it was worse to be half man, half beast than dead after all. Stoic. I was still enjoying the little pleasures of life. Let's face it, I was already alone before this mess, but now the loneliness was unbearable. One way to get back to my human face, to have a second chance, was performing another magic trick, right? But I began to have serious doubts mixed with fear as a dilettante in the occult. Clearly, my lack of knowledge in secret magic rituals had created this mess in the first place. Moreover, I was really afraid to provoke a worse metamorphosis than the current one. To sum up, the thought of living all my life and dying as an ass was actually my best option. Helpless, suicidal, surrounded by indifferent, walking dead people. My contemporaries strangely seemed no better than me. All they had at the end of the day were images flickering on a screen, a cell phone, the shadow of a shadow. Looking for help in the most remote places, I found only emptiness, ruins and decay in my own wasteland. But where to look? Where to begin? I had already travelled the world, stuck my nose everywhere. You see, I had no touchstone. Somewhere in the mysteries cult, ancient tradition taught me that my misfortune might end. Perhaps if I prayed to a mysterious goddess called Isis. She was the greatest Egyptian goddess. Like Artemis's moon, Isis was the goddess of the nights and of mercy too. This deity had been merciful even to Seth, who had killed and dismembered her husband Osiris, and had freed and forgiven him after his wild fight with Horus, her son. She was therefore invoked in ancient times, especially in the Hellenistic age, by slaves wishing to earn their freedom, or she herself would unexpectedly bestow freedom upon them. Even if, in spite of my certainty, I was the victim of a monstrous illusion, I would have nothing to lose in making the effort to beg Isis for mercy. Queen of Heaven, I call on you, first under the name of Ceres, the nurturing mother, from whom crops first sprang. The gods above worship you. Honor is yours from the gods below. You turn the globe, light the sun, regulate the universe. Under your control the heavenly bodies move, the seasons return, the divinities rejoice, the earth, sea, and sky perform their lavish duties. By whatever name and right and in whatever form, it is decreed that I must address you. You and no other. Stand firm at last. Aid me in these agonies. You prop my toppled fortunes up again. You give me relief and peace, since I have drained the dregs of cruel mischance. Let my sufferings, my dangers so far suffice. Drive off from me this hateful configuration. Return me to the sight of my people. Give me back myself. Lucius, give me back myself. Lucius. And if any divine being has been insulted and persecutes me with a viciousness no prayers can overcome, let me at least die, since I'm not allowed to live. I'd almost given up all hope when there she was, emerging in her divine form. Little by little the radiant image of the deity's complete incarnation took shape and stood before me. Having pronounced the final words of her oracle, the unconquered goddess withdrew into herself. I was full of awe at such a clear manifestation of the mighty goddess. I gazed at the goddess's likeness and contemplated my past disasters. Returned from the underworld, my heart was also revived. I'd given up on ever looking on them again. A dream? What else but a dream?